Sam Smith here again with Let's Be Smart with Money, senior sales professional and master at the craft and managing money. On episode 5 of Let's Be Smart with Money, we're going to talk about how to buy a home the right way. Think about it, when most people in America, the first opportunity they get to start making a financially free salary, and that can range anywhere from $65,000 to the high six figures. The first thing they do is buy a home in the posh neighborhood without considering the taxes, the maintenance, and the additional expenses that comes with owning that home. Now, I've always said it's all about taking our money and using it to provide some freedom for us. So I'm gonna give you a different approach on how to buy a home. The first step you're gonna take, as opposed to making the leap and buying that house where you can walk and get coffee and you thinking about the vision of where you can raise your kids and entertaining your friends, take the emotions out of that. Let's approach this like a business. You're gonna buy a home in a neighborhood that is currently a 2.5 or a 3 with the potential to be a 4.5 or a 5 in the next 5 or 10 years. Why is that important? Well, as that neighborhood grows and transitions, your equity grows and you have the opportunity to grow with the tax increase as that is inevitably going to come. From there, you're gonna look for something, you're gonna save up enough for the down payment, but not just for the down payment, but enough to renovate at least one room in this home, and a major room. As I think about Robert Kiyosaki, when I read his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he said, a home is not an asset unless it's making you money. So when you put into what we call sweat equity, you're also increasing that value. Now, if you have the mindset to manage a short-term or a long-term rental, is another way you can increase the equity and create some freedom for yourself. Now, if you can get a tenant in there, not only are you increasing the equity of your home, but now you're generating some revenue. And so generating that revenue in addition to you growing with the neighborhood, that's only going to create more freedom for you. Now, I will say this process is not for the faint at heart. You know, people, when you move into those neighborhoods, you're not always welcomed by the people who've already lived there. They kind of look at you as someone who's gentrifying the neighborhood. And that's not your fault. I would say have some grace and patience with those individuals, but at the same time, make your alderperson and law enforcement your allies. It's not you that they have a problem with, it's the change and the fact that they don't understand that your tax dollars are going to provide some resources to those neighborhoods. So if you can get past that, it's a great opportunity to do what's next. And this is one of the greatest things about it, the opportunity to refinance. When you take all these different steps that I've just given you into buying that home, now you get the opportunity to refinance your home. And when you get the chance to refinance your home, not only is that going to be a benefit for you being able to finish the renovation of your home, but you can also maybe have some cash to invest in another business. I think the problem with everyone complaining about taxes, and which is interesting, like if you go on social media or if you go in most conversations, everyone's complaining about taxes as if it's something new. But I think the problem is that the way we've been taught on how to buy a home is really the problem. We're never taught, hey, let's make some money off our home. We're taught this is the place that we're supposed to settle. This is the place we're supposed to raise kids. This is the place where we have the picket fence. Where for me, I much rather have freedom. And those same people who have those opportunities and go on that route, they find themselves unhappy. Why? Because they've been trapped. You relied on your job. It's a 30-year commitment that you're making, and you're relying on only your employment. And now you didn't think about when you bought that home, the taxes are going to increase over time, and they will. It's inevitable. The biggest thing there's a lot of debates between renting and owning a home. I would say the biggest difference and the only difference that matters is the fact that when you own property, you can make money off the property. I would never tell someone if you're renting, you're wasting money. However, when you own property, you can lease some of that space to provide supplemental income, which can go towards that mortgage. Again, it's about freeing ourselves with our funds and preventing the trap. So if we go back to those steps, step 1, we're gonna go buy a home in a neighborhood that has the potential to be greater later. Step 2, we're going to not only just save up for a down payment, we're going to also have enough money to renovate one of the rooms. Step 3, if you can, and if you're comfortable doing this, provide a means for a short-term or long-term rental. And step 4, we're going to refinance. Again, my name is Sam Smith. Let's be smart with money. Next episode, we're going to talk about how to properly budget. Thank you.